Hey mum, thought I'd give this another go. Start from the start. I'll do a 3 hearts challenge. Not doing this in master mode. Can't be bothered. That's a lot of effort. But I thought I'd at least get off the Great Plateau, show you how I do that. I skipped the very start intro cutscene. You've seen that before. You open your eyes, you wake up.
That is a Sheikah slate. Take it.
It sure is.
It will help guide you after your long slumber.
In the Japanese version, it's called a Sheikah stone instead of a Sheikah slate. Not sure why they bothered to change that. There's probably some good reason. Now I was wondering, so I was also going to do this without any armor or anything like that. But at the same time, without any armor, it does make Link visually a bit boring. So I'm wondering if maybe I should wear armor, but maybe I won't upgrade it. Or something. I don't know. I feel like I gotta make... Having already done a playthrough, 3 hearts, with no armor,
Hold the Sheikah slate.
I already basically can't take any damage, even with a little bit of armor. And it gives me a little bit of customization, which is always nice. Should find out from you next time if you've gone through and customized how your armor looks. You can do it in Hateno Village, yeah. There's a shop where you can take different dyes. Or actually, I think it's usually just different berries. You can take it there, and you'll get dunked into a vat of color, and then your clothes come out all a new color.
Link, you are the light. Our light. That must shine upon
Speaking
Hyrule
of,
once again.
you know, you have all these options to, go around, customize, play mini games, whilst also trying to, save Hyrule. Alright. Let's see what's out here. Ooh. I don't think I can pretend like I haven't done this before, because I've done it quite a few times now, but it's still fun. It's always been an adventure. It was always interesting in a lot of the promo footage for Zelda for Breath of the Wild before it came out. It showed a lot of times where Link would come running out of the cave, but he would already have a shield and the champion's tunic, and he'd come running out, and then he would jump off this cliff with the paraglider. And then, you play the game, and you'd have to go back here and do that deliberately, because you don't have the paraglider, or a shield, or the champion's tunic, which means you have already had to have gotten a memory back, and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. I'm also wondering if I should do a vegan playthrough, but they I don't know if I can be bothered, because that honestly didn't really add much to the challenge of the game. The game's already getting rid of the animal products in this game really doesn't change much. I mean, it certainly, I guess it changed a lot when I wasn't it didn't change much when I wasn't upgrading, because when you don't need animal parts, because you don't need to upgrade, then yeah, you don't need any of these things, but... Anyway, let's just grab everything, because that is more fun, and... why not? Another branch. Let's take it. Oh. You're going for a ride. It's fine. No one died. Alright, cool. The door's still going. It's fine. Alright. See what this old man has to say. Probably is. It's probably saying I'm on fire. Hello. Well met, stranger. It's rather unusual to see another soul in these parts. Who are you? Me? I'll spare you my life story. I'm trying to think if I need to do a voice for this. But I guess I'm just an old fool who has lived here alone for quite some time now. What brings a bright-eyed young man like you to a place like this? Where are we? What is this place? Answering a question with a question. That's fair enough. As I cannot imagine our meeting to be a simple coincidence, I shall tell you. This is the Great Plateau in Teal. According to legend, this is the birthplace of the entire kingdom of Hyrule. Ooh. Now that does sound important. I feel like you should go, and since I can't imagine that you'll be bothered to go and play all the previous Zelda games, you should go watch a playthrough of them. They kind of vary a fair bit from this one. I already skipped some dialogue. Ever since the decline of the kingdom 100 years ago, it has sat abandoned in a state of decay. The Temple of Time. Or the Kingdom of Hyrule? One of them. Yet another forgotten entity, a mere ghost of its former self. I shall be here for some time. Please let me know if I may be of service. You can be of service. I'll take your apple. I beg your pardon. I do believe that is my baked apple. You can't just go taking about whatever you please. The game clearly says you can, though. Sorry, just responding to a message real quick. Forgive me, I could not resist pulling your leg. I'm very professional at this video stuff right now. Please help yourself. An apple and an open flame makes for a succulent treat. I better get some apples then. Wow. Alright. Let's chuck in some mushrooms as well. Put them all on fire. Ooh. It'll be fun. Toasty. Yeah, I know, right? Hopefully not too toasty. Is it okay? Are they going to be okay? I think they're actually doubly on fire. I think they're too toasty. too toasty. It's fine. There they go. It's fine. That's probably enough anyway. Alright. Well, I could take his torch, but I honestly don't need it. But this seems pretty handy. I've already got 2 tree branches and an axe. Whoop. Okay, right.
Link. Head for the point marked on the map in your Sheikah slate.
It's probably a good idea. But first, apples. It's very good at grabbing apples out of the trees. Zibbergoblin. Give me up. So this one I think is special because he usually doesn't attack you all that much. You can kind of just stand around. I wonder if you can flurry rush this early in the game. Probably. Yes. Can't even finish a flurry rush without breaking a tree. Well. I'll take this fresh tree branch. That'll make a huge difference. I was also thinking I could go without Korok seeds, but that also like gets rid of a whole bunch of things to do. So let's go get a Korok seed right at the start of the game. It's always interesting to think, is there just 900 of these Korok children just hanging around, got nothing to do except wait for someone to show up who might be able to see them after they do some small puzzle in the world? It's always a bit of a odd narrative. Alright, well. Yeah. Still should go to the point on the Sheikah slate. But should also get a bow and some arrows. Temple of Time. Yeah, Temple of Time is a big deal in at least several of the games. Ocarina of Time, the one you bought me way back when, definitely features prominently in that. I mean, Ocarina of Time, Temple of Time, kind of all links together. Take his club. No, he doesn't have a club. I have his club. Aha! Alright. Oh, that was easy. One of these has some arrows in it. And... oh, this one. I think another one has at least one arrow. Maybe? Maybe not. Alright, never mind. Let's just go for... and get a bow. The first time I played this game, I was amazed. Not only could you jump with a button, because in the previous games there's no button to jump. You just, when you walk off a ledge, you'll just automatically jump. But also you just get a bow straight up, start of the game. Again, normally bows you're given to like late, mid-game or something. So you've already been playing the game for like a good 5 to 10 hours before you get a bow. Maybe some of them they'll give you some sort of projectile thing early on, like in Ocarina of Time you get a slingshot as your first sort of next item that you get. But then the slingshot has, you know, it doesn't do a lot of damage, and the seeds that you fired off fall off pretty quick, so you can't shoot all that far away. And then about, I don't know, 6 hours into the game, if you're not really rushing it, you'll get a bow. And then you're like, wow, this is so much better than the slingshot. But yeah, you're already like a decent chunk of the way through the game. So I don't know. It was so different, a game like this. Let's get some pants. Some better fitting pants. I wonder whose pants these were. Whose room was this? I was just hanging out near the Temple of Time with a giant chest to keep their one pair of pants. There's these blokes over here. I could just run up and take them head on, but there is a rock there, and there are some exploding barrels there, and it would feel wrong not to take advantage of that. So let's give that a go. Alright, too easy. So doing this sort of stuff is like obviously not that necessary, because these are pretty easy enemies to deal with early in the game. But a lot of this stuff kind of makes a lot more sense to do if you're playing in master mode. We've got all these guys who are like, these guys are all blue now, which means they've got 75 health instead of 13, and they do more damage. And you still only have your, at best, 4 armor and like a Boko Bat. So yeah, it's interesting. The game in some ways feels more suited to master mode. Ugh. Lots of explosions. It's fine. Nothing happened. It's all good. There's one guy. Ugh. Kinda wanna oh no, he didn't drop his thing. Okay, that's no good. Alright, let's use this. No. Oh, he dropped it. It's mine now. Okay, cool. Now your flaming bat is a bit less dangerous. Alright, good. Yep, all good. Everything's okay. Nothing happened. Well, no, lots of things happened. Nothing happened to me, so I'm okay with that. Alright. Well, what about you? Hey. Link seems to be very good at setting things not on fire. What am I trying to say? Making things not on fire. He'll just pick them up, and he just like gives him a quick whiff before he puts them back on, like a burning sword. No, a burning Boko Bat. Just puts it back on his back. All good. Yep. So many things to change to. It's alright. Where are we going? Oh, we're going over here. Let's get to the tower. I don't know. Nah, I'll bring it up later. I'll bring it up. It's fine. No. Oh yeah, rusty swords. Rusty swords. That's what I was gonna say. Hey, you see Divine Beast already. Just off in the distance. It's just Divine Beast just flying there. That was pretty imposing the first time you played a game and you're not really sure what's happening. And if you look off towards Death Mountain, you can see the fire. Goron, Divine Beast crawling around the outside of the volcano. I don't know if he's on this side at the moment. No, I can't see him, but normally you can see him like walking around the outside. It's pretty amazing just being able to see that sort of stuff off in the distance before you know what any of it is. You've just been thrown into this world, and there's all this stuff. That's amazing. Sort of, you don't really know, just the fact that you've been told that, like, yeah, you can go anywhere from the marketing, but like you haven't experienced that yet. You haven't learned just how far you can go. And you know, the map isn't infinite, but it's pretty amazing. Alright, let's get this tower. It's covered in rocks. Oh, I don't have it. It's fine. Don't have a paraglider yet. It's all good. These guys have bows. Yeah, so let's not have to deal with them as well as other things. It's fine. Alright. Too easy. Fantastic. Again, master mode, where you've got two blue guys standing there waiting to take you on, and you can't just easily knock them out. Definitely makes for a hard... Pretty sure when I played it in master mode, I actually just ran past everything and triggered the tower, and then, hey, don't have to deal with them. Which was pretty nice, but does feel like a bit of a cheat where you just have to run away from enemies all the time. It's impressive that the tower knows to watch for falling rocks, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it just always says watch for falling rocks. This cutscene here also, it looks like it's in-game, but it's actually a pre-rendered video. Which I guess kind of makes sense, because there's a bunch of stuff in here that like isn't normally, like some of the animations and some of the effects aren't normally in the game, but it still looks like it's in the game, but it's a pre-rendered cutscene and not actually in-game, real-time in-game stuff, which is interesting. But it also looks like it's the same time of day. I forgot to test this, but I wonder if time doesn't pass until you activate this, because otherwise, you know, if you wait here long enough and now it's nighttime, then you activate the tower. Should test that out sometime. Yeah. That sound effect there for collecting something is a very iconic Zelda sound for when you open a chest. That was in some of the early games, and then they kind of really ramped it up in the first 3D games and made it that I'm just gonna skip this cutscene. We already know what's happening. Yeah, that iconic sound is when you're opening a chest, and they sort of really drew out how long it takes to open a chest. And then, yeah, then they finally sort of toned it down again in this game, where it's like, okay, you have that sound effect, you have that weight, but you kind of only have to do it for once for every tower, and then like a few more times for each of the runes that you unlock, so that's like not that many times overall. Now, I'm trying to think if it's worth trying this trick that I've learned to get down this tower quickly. Let's save. So normally, if you try to get off this tower the quick way, which is just to jump off, you'll die, because it's a long way down. But there is a way where if you jump off, and whilst you're throwing, and then you release the throw real quick, and then, whoop, well, alright, never mind. Maybe it's only when you're falling. Anyway, if you release the throw, and then immediately try to change your equipped item, maybe it only happens when you're falling as well. Let's throw this way. You're releasing it immediately, no, alright. You release and immediately try to change your equipped item, yeah, something like that. If you do that, you have something to throw. You release and immediately change, and you do that just before you hit the ground, then you won't take fall damage. It's an odd exploit, and it only really is useful in this one instance, because this is the only like one of the few tall heights that you've got to deal with before you actually get the paraglider. So it's not that useful for the most part. But hey, you know what? Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Alright. Throw. Release. Nope. Alright. Well, that didn't work. Let's try one more time. That's why I saved just before I jumped off. And then maybe I'll call this an episode. Next episode we'll go deal with the shrines. Get those runes. Maybe try doing the runes in a different order, because we don't have to do it in the order that the old man says to do them in. Alright, cool. You throw, you release, and you change weapon, and then hey, it worked. Because obviously changing your weapon whilst you're falling is a great way to not break your legs. It's very true to life. Alright, this tower and others just like it have erupted across the land, one after another. It's almost as though a long dormant power has awoken quite suddenly. If you do not mind me asking, did anything odd occur while you were atop that tower? Well, something odd occurred when I fell off the tower, but that's a different story. Nothing. Oh, okay. You need not conceal the truth from me. Truth be told, I saw the whole thing untold from afar. Well then you have nothing to say about that fall? Alright. Although I could not hear anything, I did see you react as if you heard something coming from the direction of the castle. Oh yeah, there was all that spoopy purple cloudy stuff flying around the castle. Hit the nail on the head, did I? And did you happen to recognize this mysterious voice? No answer. It seems I have some work to do as far as earning your trust goes. I suppose that is understandable. Oh yeah, you can move the camera around during this. It's like interactive cutscene. I assume you caught sight of that atrocity enshrouding the castle? That is Calamity Ganon. 100 years ago, that vile entity brought the kingdom of Hyrule to ruin. It appeared suddenly and destroyed everything in its path. So many innocent lives were lost in its wake. For a century, the very symbol of our kingdom, Hyrule Castle, has managed to contain that evil, but just barely. There it festers, building a strength for the moment it will unleash its blight upon the land once again. It would appear that moment is fast approaching. What? Okay. I must ask you, courageous one, did you intend to make your way to the castle? No comment. You need not say a word. Your eyes revealed the determination within. That's good. Here on this isolated plateau, we are surrounded on all sides by steep cliffs with no way down. Well, that's not completely true. I've definitely seen some people do some shenanigans with stasis and flying off the thing, and apparently the fog itself is what causes you to like trigger dying when you fall off, which means you can actually go outside the fog if you like hop on something that you stasis build up energy, and then you jump off it and you fly off the edge, and if you get it the right way you can like survive the fall and not hit the fog. And then there's like another bigger radius where, I don't know, you can maybe go a couple 100 meters away from the edge of the plateau and then it considers you like dead and you've gone too far. Yeah, it's pretty surprising that the fog itself is the thing that is what triggers that you've fallen off the edge, and not just like a blanket statement of, alright, you've gone outside the region or something. I'm pretty sure, at least on the map, you see on the tower, like, it already knows the outline of the plateau, so I don't know why it doesn't just have it where, or even if you just go too low, because everything's raised up, if you just go below a certain height anywhere while you're in this intro section, it should just kill you, or reset. You know, surprising. Somebody put some effort in to make it that if you run into that fog, you lose until the fog goes away, rather than what I would think is something more simple. Who knows? Maybe there's more to it than what I thought, but interesting to see what people have done. If you were to try to jump off, well, you would hit that fog and then trigger a premature death. Of course, if you had a paraglider like mine, that would be quite another story. Hand it over. Now I speak. Oh, certainly. Why not? But there is no such thing as free item in this world, you know. There's a lot of free items just lying around, but sure. Let's see now. How about I trade for a bit of treasure that slumbers nearby? Ooh. Oh, now I have the quest. Open adventure log. Come, let me show you something. Now we have to wait for him to walk. If you interrupt him, he's like, don't be hasty, just follow. Alright. Alright. I mean, I guess that was hasty of me, but let's see. What are we looking at? Is it over here? Nope. Alright. See that structure? The one shining with a strange light? It began glowing at the exact moment those towers rose up from the ground. I think such a place might house some sort of treasure, wouldn't you? Treasure for the paraglider? A fair exchange, I believe. Alright. Run around a bit more. Okay, I was going to call it here for this episode. Thanks for watching, Mum. I'll at least keep going until I get off the plateau. And then, you know, see how you feel about this. Alright. Love you, Mum. Bye.